The moment I opened the envelope, I knew my family had spent weeks planning what came next. The paper felt heavy in my hands as I unfolded it beneath the soft lights of an upscale Chicago restaurant. Across the table, my mother sat with a calm smile that looked more rehearsed than genuine. My father avoided eye contact and checked his expensive watch while my older sister Valeria pretended to scroll through her phone. What she did not realize was that I could clearly see the camera recording. "We have decided this is best for everyone," my mother said gently. "A clean separation." I lowered my eyes to the document. It was a formal letter announcing that the Castillo family was officially cutting ties with me. 3 signatures sat at the bottom. My father, my mother, my sister. They had actually signed it. The strange thing was that I did not feel shocked. Deep down, I had seen this coming for years. My name is Elena Vargas, and at 22 years old, I had spent most of my life trying to fit into a future someone else designed for me. My family was wealthy, respected, and obsessed with tradition. For generations, the Castillos had built successful careers in finance. My grandfather started the company. My father expanded it, and everyone assumed I would eventually join Grupo Castillo. But that was never the life I wanted. While my family loved boardrooms and stock reports, I loved technology. I love solving problems. During college, I switched my major from finance to data science. The disappointment on my father's face that day never left my memory. From that moment, things changed. Family dinners became rare. Phone calls became shorter. Invitations slowly stopped arriving. Whenever I talked about my projects, my parents acted uninterested. My sister often called on their behalf, reminding me that there was still a place waiting for me at the family company. I always gave the same answer. I am building something of my own. To them, that sounded like rebellion. To me, it sounded like freedom. While attending school, I worked part-time at a small coffee shop. The owner constantly struggled with deliveries and inventory shortages. During slow afternoons, I began creating software that could predict supply needs and improve delivery schedules. At first, it was simply a college project. Then, it became much more. One of my professors saw potential in the idea and connected me with a startup incubator. Soon I partnered with 2 talented friends, Matteo and Sofia. Together we transformed the software into a company called Aether. The business grew faster than any of us expected. Within a year we had investors. Within 2 years we had major clients. By graduation our software was helping dozens of businesses save time and money. My family knew none of it. Not because I was hiding it, because they never asked. 3 days before graduation, everything changed again. A large logistics company offered to buy Aether for $7.2 million. After several negotiations, we accepted the deal. Every member of my team received a position within the acquiring company and I was offered a leadership role. The contracts were signed on Tuesday. My family invited me to dinner on Wednesday. The timing felt strange, but I accepted. The following evening, I walked into the restaurant carrying a leather portfolio containing the acquisition documents. When I arrived at the table, my family treated the night like a performance. My mother smiled for appearances. My sister adjusted her phone camera. My father barely acknowledged me. After a brief toast, my mother slid the envelope toward me. Then came the speech. She talked about different paths, family expectations, and difficult decisions. In reality, she was explaining why they were removing me from their lives. When she finished, silence settled over the table. I folded the letter carefully and slipped it into my jacket. "Is that everything?" I asked. My father looked surprised. "You seem unusually calm." "I think your message is very clear," I replied. Then, I placed my portfolio on the table. "Actually, I brought something for all of you, too." I removed several documents and spread them out in front of them. My father immediately recognized the financial paperwork. "What is this?" "The company I have spent the last 3 years building," I answered. "It was acquired this week." For the first time all evening, nobody spoke. My sister lowered her phone. My father picked up the acquisition summary and began reading. As his eyes reached the final number, his expression changed completely. $7.2 million. "That is correct." The table went silent again. My mother stared at me in disbelief. "Why did you never tell us?" I looked directly at her. "Because you stopped asking." Those 4 words hit harder than anything else I could have said. Suddenly, their attitude shifted. My father complimented my achievement. My mother talked about family support. My sister started acting interested in the company she had ignored for years. It was almost funny. Moments earlier, they had disowned me. Now they wanted back in. The document is already signed, I reminded them. My father forced a smile. Things can always be changed. I shook my head. Some things should not be. I stood and gathered my papers. My mother reached for my hand. We are still your family. I gently stepped away. No family believes in you before the world does. You made your choice tonight. Without another word, I walked out of the restaurant. Outside, the warm Chicago air felt lighter than it had in years. A text message arrived from Mateo. Celebration starts in 30 minutes. Are you coming? I smiled and replied immediately. Would not miss it. As I climbed into a taxi, the disownment letter remained folded inside my pocket, but it no longer felt heavy because it was not my loss. It was theirs. They thought they were ending my story. Thank you for listening to today's story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next story.